All right, Aaron Parker, Parker Safes and Vaults, Shelbyville, Tennessee. Want to give you a look today at a Graffunder vault door. Graffunder is part of Sage Safe Company out of Yakima, Washington, so these are a U.S. built product. But Graffunder's been around since about 1968, and they make a heck of a product. They're not a production safe or door. They take their time, and the quality on it shows everywhere. There's like for instance, the door gap is one thing everybody seems to gravitate towards, but you know, there's barely enough room to even get a dollar bill edge in there. I doubt you could get a business card. It's just very tight on their safes as well. When you shut the door on a safe, because it's a contained unit there, the air just kind of gets pressurized and it you know, whistles when it comes out. So whenever I have anybody in the showroom swinging doors, they can't help but to shut those doors 5 or 6 times. It's a lot different than some of the other products they have been looking at. So, but this is a Graffunder Bishop series. They make quite a few different series, but the Bishop is where they start. So the Bishop has a 1/2 inch plate. Then you go up to the Castle, which with the inch plate door, and then the Fortress, or I'm sorry, then the Emperor and the Fortress, which are both 1.5 inch plate. I've got some cross sections here. I can kind of see if I can explain that a little bit better, but. So on the Bishop series, which is this, you're going to have a solid 1/2 inch plate. That's A36 high tensile steel, and then back here is just 3/4 inch, part of the door perimeter there. But that's where your locking bolts extend behind. So 1/2 inch plate door, then 3/4 inch plate body there where your locking bolts extend behind. And then on a safe, then you'd have a 1/4 inch body with the proprietary fire lining there. It's like sets up like concrete. So that's the Bishop. Then you go to the Castle series, which is an inch plate with a 1/2 inch body on the safe, and then the same 3/4 inch here. And then you go to the Emperor, which is a 1.5 inch door with an inch body, same fire rating and everything. Well, fire rating, by the way, is 1750 degrees for an hour. But then on the Fortress series, that part of this 1.5 inch becomes a 1/2 inch of manganese. So pretty stout stuff there. This is the Bishop 8240. It's a textured finish here, textured granite with a black gloss insert, and then black nickel hardware. This has a 5-spoke handle. They all come with a side pull handle. This one has a Sergeant Greenleaf electronic lock, so we'll open that up here. So when you open the door, you can just feel the heft on them. They're pretty stout. Even their 1/2 inch, this weighs about 1,500 pounds, where most vault doors in that size range, I'm going to say, are in the 800 or 900 pound range. So some nice features back here. This is part of your emergency egress, and I'll kind of show you how that works. It's got these little knobs on it. It's got instruction panels here. It's escape device instructions. Open this panel. Remove red pin, turn door handle, open door. So very simple, all right? So we'll see what that looks like. Take these little knobs out. There's actually 2 of them. And then here's the pin they're talking about. So when you remove that pin, okay, then we would be able to release the door, okay? So that's how that works. Turn it on back up, and then that would just go back on there. This door has a panic room option, and what that means is if you wanted to use this as a panic room, say you were worried about the bad guys in the middle of the night, you can slip into this vault and then from inside pull your handles and then pull this up, and then even if the bad guys knew your combination out here, they still couldn't get in. It would just be like you're just locked in until you go through this procedure here. They won't be able to get at you. The way these, excuse me a second. Okay, so I get a lot of questions about how do these install. All right, the way Graffunder does it, and a few other companies, is they have like a clamshell effect. So what happens is you're going to take off these inner panels here. So there's a header piece and then 2 legs. Okay, and these are bolted on. But once we remove those, then we can slide this whole vault door into the opening. And once it's in there where we want it, then we put these panels back on and just tighten them down. And what they do is they just they just grab a hold of the block wall or the poured wall. And so it's kind of a clamshell effect. One thing that's nice about those is if there's ever any concrete settling and you need to readjust your door, you're not dealing with a bunch of concrete anchors that are, you know, kind of permanent. So you can always take them out and drill a new hole somewhere, but it's really hard to take a concrete anchor out and then adjust your door and put the concrete anchor in because it just wants to go back to where it was. So what you normally have to do with a concrete anchor to adjust it is drill a new hole and put a new anchor in. But with this system, with the clamshell system, all you really have to do is take the panel, loosen the bolts really, and then you can replumb or level and then tighten everything back down. So I think that's about it. It's 1750 degree hour fire rating, inch and a quarter locking bolts. These are solid stainless. They go behind that 3/4 inch plate back here, so really stout. Very well made door. All their products, Graffunder products, are very well built, and they are a little bit more money, but I think very worth it. So, hey, thanks for having a look. If you've liked this video, please hit like, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment bar. I'm not on YouTube all the time, but I'll get to your comment eventually. Thank you much.